Good evening. Today I'm going to do an unboxing of two items. One, I picked myself up a new helmet and a communication kit, which I will come to secondly. So, new helmet. My old one was getting a bit long in the tooth, and you are supposed to replace these every 5 years or after some damage, and anyway, I'm due for a new one. But I was incredibly happy with my last Arai XD, and so I've upgraded to the XD4. Pretty much is the Rolls-Royce of dual sport helmets. It's got all the gadgets, and yeah, it's an extremely comfortable helmet. It's reasonably lightweight. There is lighter helmets around, but this one is, yeah, it's right up there with the best, and every review that I've looked at really gives it top marks. And like I say, I was really happy with my previous one, so now I'm going to give this one a go. So my old helmet was the Arai XD, and I guess at first glance they're pretty similar, but there is quite a few updates. One, I guess if we look at the peak first, the old XD has just sort of vents on the side, and this one now has vents. Well, they're actually roughly a similar location, but they're a different shape. They reckon Arai does say that they've improved the performance of the visor in high speed, at reasonable speeds. Wouldn't say high speed. I wouldn't recommend riding one of these at 200 kilometers an hour plus. They can get actually, when you're holding your head straight on, they're actually pretty good. But if you turn, you end up with quite a big sail here, which sort of tries to rip your head around at speed, and can become a bit of a neck workout. But otherwise, yeah, they're pretty good. So anyway, what else have we got? I guess I see that they've replaced, was it sort of a mesh grill in here on the old one, and the new one now has a shiny metal grill, which actually I quite like. The other main upgrades is this one now has visor vents, the exhaust vents, if that's what you'd like to call them. These ones were just click on and off. Now they've got a lever which has actually got two vents under here, and anyway, it's supposed to improve airflow. So yeah, I guess a few improvements to the overall model. One of the other improvements is now it has a chin flap, just to reduce wind noise, and the old one does not. It's just open there, and it wasn't really an extremely quiet helmet, but nevertheless it wasn't bad. So anyway, that's enough of the old one. Let's have a look at the new one, because what I do want to do is mount the camera and my communication set all on the one helmet, get it all up and running. The visor now on the new XD4 has it's accepting of the pin lock system, which is an anti-fog screen that you fit to the inside of the visor, and yeah, I don't know if I'll ever use it. I'll see if I have fogging problems, but you generally don't on this type of helmet anyway, because they're quite airy here. Then you get enough airflow in there usually that it won't fog. It's not really an issue. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. So this helmet has removable foam, removable everything. I'll pretty much pull everything out here now. So basically they unclick from the front, and then I'll just pull out the foam pad. I believe that you can adjust just how the thickness of them. You get different ones. So there is the two of those. So here's our little skull cap. Yeah, so two studs on the back and two on the front. Basically holds that in place, and that's good because any of our wiring or something we'll have it running over the top so that nothing's between the foam and our head. Yeah, so that's it. One hollow helmet. Okay, let's see what my other toy is. I decided to get the Scalarider G9. Not for much other reason than I know some other people that have got this particular model and different models of Bluetooth communicators, or RF communicators. They don't talk to each other, but I mean it is a bit of a pain really. So anyway, this the Scalarider G9, the power set, this is the power set, which is up just because it's got 2 units in here instead of 1. It does say iPhone compatible, can you read that? And flash pairing, so basically you can get the units and go press the buttons and go boom, and they're paired. Who really cares what's on the outside? You can look at that yourself in the shop and see what's inside. So we have a giant manual, which I can tell already is in 10 different languages. It's probably only 3 pages of manual. Here is the G9 unit itself. A charger. Maybe I'll just take out one side of it because the other side is for someone else and they can decide whether they're going to tell you or not. And it's a USB charger. Well, it's a USB for the PowerPoint and USB plug, so I dare say it will actually charge off your computer. Velcro pads for the earphones, a microphone. This is a different type of microphone, and this is the unit that goes onto your helmet. So the reason I'm grabbing this out first is because you'll see that the unit actually this is permanently on your helmet. This piece you can take on and off as needed. Well, so that you can charge it and so that you can connect it to your computer and do whatever you need to there. I've never actually clicked one of these together before, but that looks pretty straightforward. Oh, look at that. So that's the assembled unit that would be on your helmet. Okay, so what else does it come with? A little bag, extensions, stereo 3.5mm jack, some sticky pads and an Allen key. The alternative attaching method. So this at the moment has a clamp system, which I'm going to use, but alternatively you can use a stick-on system. Hey, look at that, comes with a free drink. Well, obviously they can't fit a bottle in there, so they just give you a little pad that you just wipe on your tongue. So what we need to do is clamp it to the shell of the helmet. Well, I can't show that very well, but anyway, there's a gap in there, and I think I can clamp it in that location. And in fact, I will feed the headphones through first, because we need them on the inside of the helmet, and the least amount of wires the better. The least amount of exposed wires the better. Okay, so that's securely clamped to the chassis. We will run this microphone up near the front. In fact, it fits really nicely. Make sure our chin guard still works. Okay, next, to mount the speakers. So what I'm going to do is I've ran one headphone's just obviously near the unit, and the other one goes to the opposite side. So I'll lay the wire against the foam of the helmet, and we'll fit our padding back in, and that way no exposed wires. Yeah, so what we want to do here is we've got our cheek pads, and your cheek goes here, and this is where I mount my microphone for my camera and my drift, and this is where we want to put the earphones, and so that I'm not sticking them on the outside there. I'm worried that they might rub against my ears or something. I will be mounting them on the inside. So I've got the foam layers of the cheek pad, which are replaceable in this helmet. We'll mount the earpiece right here. Okay, so there we have the Scalarider with no wires exposed at all. The unit's here. The wires just drop in behind the foam and are never exposed. Speakers aren't exposed. That's beautiful. So hopefully, as soon as the unit's charged up, I'll play some music or something and make sure it sounds okay. And yeah, awesome. Okay, well, I tried something tricky, but it completely failed. So I'll just move on to the camera mounting. So the last item that we need to do is we'll mount the microphone for the drift. The drift will get mounted on this side with one of the sticky mounts, which I've used on a few helmets, and now I have run out of sticky mounts, so I'll be getting one in the morning. But until then, we'll set up the microphone, because really that's the only part that is tricky for people. So here I have a microphone with a 2.5mm jack, because this particular model, the Drift HD, has a 2.5mm jack in the back instead of 3.5. So I've got my 2.5mm jack, my microphone, and this is my tip to get rid of wind noise. Don't just stick this thing in your helmet. Wrap it up in some large amount of foam, and stick it in there, roll it over, whatever, get a decent ball. You could also probably use something like that additional. That's an actual proper microphone ball of foam. This is just a tube of foam, so use whatever you can find. I'm just going to put a bit of tape on this so keep it all together. And it doesn't really matter what it looks like, because it's going to be inside the cheek pad. So pop the cheek pad out, which I can't pull too far out because I've got that microphone, the speaker in there. And if I take the padding, what the hell do you call this, cover off, and basically this is where I stick it on the cheek pad, right there on the front. Anyway, right there on the front is where I've found that it works quite well. Put the cover back over that. There it is in the front of the cheek pad. Now I've got a bit of excess cable, and just like the Scalarider clipped through the bit where this surround wasn't quite attached, we'll do the same on this side and feed the jack through. So there it comes through there, and it doesn't need to be too long. That will do. Okay, so there it is. Cheek pad is back in, and we have a wire dangling out the side, and when I get my sticky pad, these will plug together, and there we have. Drift mounted on the side with a, there is one little piece of wire, but you can't get away with it completely. Yeah, all good. So now that you know how to set that up, enjoy.